afternoon, and welcome to the Humidor Report. Justin here in Southeast Texas' very own cigar club. Quick shout out real quick to everybody who came to the Port Arthur Seafarer Center last week. We had a great time hanging out with Father Sinclair Oubre and the crew over at the Seafarer Center. Had a wonderful time. So thanks to everybody who came out and supported us. I saw a few of you familiar faces over there. So we had a great time. I want to thank everybody at the Seafarer Center for doing what they do, doing this cigar dinner event quarterly. So if you missed it this time, you've got 3 more chances this year to get in on one, so do check that out. I believe the website is paisc.org, Port Arthur International Seafarer Center. Yeah, so paisc.org, and keep a lookout for the quarterly event. The next one, I do believe, is scheduled for May 8th. But to bring us back to our humidor, it seems like it's been a few weeks since we've been here in this humidor, getting something together for you guys, and we're going to shine a light on a brand that we have had here for a while, but one that a lot of you guys might not be familiar with yet. I hadn't seen a whole lot of people grabbing them, but I've got a few people recently that have started picking up on this product, so I figured it'd be a good idea to shine a little light on this, and for those of you who are not familiar with Tatuaje, to let you know what's going on here. Now, Tatuaje is owned and operated by a cat by the name of Pete Johnson. Now, Pete was a rock and roll drummer, I believe, was actually his instrument of choice. But Pete came up out of the Los Angeles scene, spent a lot of time playing, gigging, doing things over there, and eventually found himself working for the Grand Havana Room, I believe is the actual tobacco buyer for Grand Havana Room, LA. Very auspicious, very well-known private lounge, cigar lounge, probably one of the earliest real trend-setting lounges in the game. Well, Pete started over there and eventually wanted to try and find product that tasted more Cuban to him, since we couldn't get Cuban tobacco here in the U.S. So he started on a trek to find these more Cuban-esque flavors and find something that could satisfy his desire for Habanos, even though he couldn't readily have any access to them. From that was born Tatuaje. Now, Pete made this product happen by visiting one of the best-known independent blenders in the game, and that is Don Pepin Garcia. Better known for the My Father products, Jaime Garcia's, so on and so forth. That's all done by Pepin and My Father. Well, Pete got in touch with Pepin and started working on some blends, launched the blend, and has stayed in very, very close relations to Pepin all of these years. Even closer today, with him actually marrying Pepin's daughter, Yanni, just this year, actually, even though they have been a couple for, it seems like, 300 years. But a little congratulations to Yanni and Pete after all this time. We're glad you guys finally tied the knot. Now we're going to talk about the cigars themselves. The ones that we have here, we've got just a few different offerings. There's a lot more, but this is just a little smattering of what we've got here. We've got a few different lines. We have the original Brown Label 10th Anniversary, which you'll find over here to my left. Here, flanking the top back area, we have the Grand Cojonus and the Cojonu 2003 from the Cojonu series. We have the Black Label Private Reserve over here, and we have the RC series in the front. Now, if you smoked Tatuaje over the years, originally you had 2 basic band options, the red band and the brown band. And the brown band was the higher end. That was more the private reserve line than the regular production red label stuff. Well, this guy that we have here is the 10th anniversary brown label. So even though it is a bit more of an ornate band, it's a little more active, a little bit more fleshed out, I guess, in the little brown band that you can see here on the Cojonu 03. This is the same cigar. This is that original brown label blend. I do believe that it is a Nicaraguan Criollo wrapper, I think is what is on this one. But it is the regular brown label line, just a couple of unique vitolas that you wouldn't get the brown label in. That is the 10th anniversary of brown label. Now, the Black Label Private Reserve started as just that. It was a private reserve for Pete. He had one size of the Black Label that he put out as a very limited run, and then it went away, and nobody knew if we'd ever see anything more of it. Well, a couple years back, Pete went ahead and released the Black Label as a regular production item. This is moving us now, I believe, into a Habano territory, I think is what we have working over here. Grand Cojonu line. Cojonu, if that name sounds familiar, you might seem a little reminiscent to the term cojones. And if you know what cojones means, you can probably figure out what Cojonu means. It is the fuller version of kind of some of the old blends. They wanted to get something with a bit more oomph. Originally, this did have a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper, but production on these have shifted to where we now have an Ecuadorian-grown Habano wrapper. And that's what you'll find on the Cojonu series, be it the 03 or be it the Grand Cojonu that we have over here. The RC series is actually one of Pete's oldest blends, but it's also been one of his more expensive lines. And based on the pricing that we have here, they are the two most expensive ones we have available from Tatuaje. Now, they're all going to have this, no matter what size they are, they're going to have this definitive tapered shape. These large Salomon is what they do. This one here, you can see, is obviously quite a remarkably long cigar. The RC 184 is a bit smaller by comparison, but still that same general shape on both sides. The full covering half the cigar is a throwback to something that used to be done in Cuba. And the RC in this line actually stands for Retro Cuba. And that's why they use this type of packaging and use some of these older figurados that were more popular back in Cuba of days gone by. This one, too, has an Ecuadorian-grown Habano wrapper on it. So if you like that Corojo Habano thing, which if any of you know me, know I'm a very big fan of them, these are going to definitely play around into those flavor profiles. Now, Pete's got some other stuff, maybe some stuff that we don't have here right now. He's got some good Sumatra offerings. He does have a good broadleaf Reserva. That's kind of part of this whole Kohunu series. So if you're more that Maduro guy, that broadleaf will speak to you. If you like that floral kind of Sumatra thing, he's got some options, even in the Kohunu line, that's going to have those Sumatra wrappers as well. So there's a little something for everybody, even though we only have a bit of them here right now. Come check them out. If you like My Father, if you've had the Jaime Garcias and the My Father core line, any of the For Las Antillas, La Antigüedad, all of that stuff was blended and created by Pepin. Same can be said for all of this. So if you like what Pepin does with his product, I have a good feeling that you're going to like what he does with Pete's product as well. Certainly since he is now Pete's son-in-law. But they're great sticks. Pete's a really cool guy. He's done some great things for the industry. We've had the pleasure of kind of getting to know him a bit over the years, spending a little time with him here a couple of times in days going by. But a big shout out to Pete. And a thanks to him and to Pepin for keeping this product so good over the years and making it just as tasty and smokable now as it was when they first broke onto the scene nearly a decade or so ago. But that's going to wrap it up. I just want to give you guys a little look at this, kind of get back to a little bit more normal speed here, outside of our ventures to Southwest Louisiana and all the other crazy stuff we've done here lately. But we're back, we're dug in, and we're going to have more Humidor reports coming your way, so be sure to tune in here and check us out every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for your favorite Southeast Texas-based cigar web series. And until that time, I'm Justin. We'll see you at the club.